Welcome, Sagittarius. Thank you for coming back. If you're returning and if you're new, thank you for joining me. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I hope you enjoy this reading. It is a general reading. So now in your first house, we have Venus Love. Your first house is everything to do with yourself, your physical body, your vitality. It's also your observable characteristics and personality. So what other people see when they see you, so how you come across to others, and also what you're projecting outwards to others as well. It's also your own self-oriented interests and how you are making your way in the world, in your daily life. So now with Venus Love coming in, this indicates a partnership of some kind. It can be a love relationship, or it can be just a partnership of some kind. It could be business related, or you're just linking up with another in some way. So, but with this card always comes love, comes romance, and also socializing, sort of a higher social persona. You're actually elevated yourself in some way. It could also be the improvement of an existing relationship, so something that's already with you that is now going to a higher level, and there's more love and there's more romance. Or it could also just be the relationship with yourself, if that is not applying to you. So therefore you applying loving yourself and applying all the aspects of Venus in your relationship with yourself. So that's doing romantic things for yourself, enjoying romantic activities, and just also beautifying yourself in some way. So whether that's visiting a hair salon, or just perhaps having a makeover of some kind, or changing the way you dress, but it really is beautifying yourself in some way. That's loving yourself, that's self-care. It can also be having compassion for yourself and for others. It's also playfulness. So if you're in a relationship, it's the playfulness of that. It's also, Venus is also about attaining refinement in some way. So it's the lower octave of Neptune. So this is about attaining refinement in some way, or in the way you do things, or in the way you dress yourself, the way you present yourself, and so on. It's also about sort of feeling like you need comfort. So that's either providing comfort for yourself. So this is doing small things in your environment which are going to make you feel comforted in some way. It's also the love of luxuries. So just be aware, because it's coming up in your money house as well. Just be aware that there's nothing wrong with spoiling yourself, or enjoying luxuries and so on. But if you're going through a period of austerity and so on, then it must be necessary luxuries. So this is not big splashes and unnecessary expense. These are small things which don't necessarily cost you a lot, but which are going to still bring you the same feeling of love and comfort. This card also brings in the arts in some way. So you could be out and about socializing, or visiting the arts in some way, or you could be sort of harnessing your artistic side and exhibiting that in some way, whether it's you're taking art classes, or you're just deciding to paint, or it could even be in music. There's lots of different ways that this can come in. This card can also be about attaining balance in some way. So this is perhaps balance to your personality, or balance between your inner self and your outer self. But it is all about love. So loving yourself and loving another possibly as well. Venus can also bring in windfalls. Money is aspected with this card. You could also be settling a dispute in some way, and that's by embodying the aspects of Venus, which is charm and refinement and compassion, and just all the beautiful things in life. So you can settle a dispute by simply harnessing those abilities. It's also about finding contentment in some way. So possibly you are just, as I said, finding balance between your inner self and your outer self, and through that you find contentment. Or it could be, as I said, through a partnership of some kind. Just be aware that Venus loves sweet things, so balance your, your craving for sweet foods and so on with physical activity or just looking after yourself in general. Then in the second house, we have Saturn Truth. So as I said, second house is to do with your money, your income that's coming in. It's also to do with your self-worth, and it's to do with your values and your value system, what you own, all forms of ownership and possession. It's also to do with real estate, land, property, anything like that. So now, with Saturn coming in there, I feel that at this time, you may want to do a lot of things. You may want to really splash out and sort of purchase certain things. But with Saturn coming in to this card, this is a necessary prudence. It's about avoiding unnecessary expenses. You're going to need to streamline your income. And you need to focus on your needs and not your wants at this time. And it's also about facing a few things, facing perhaps where you've been a bit spendthrift or you've just let things go, or just not being as fastidious to do with your own personal self-worth and your values. It's about addressing all of those issues, taking responsibility, looking at things with a really very realistic eye. It's about austerity in some way, and it's about challenge. So you may be facing a challenge financially, with your income, or you may just be trimming things down. But whatever it is, you need to stick to your plans. For doing what is needed. You need to stick to those plans. Don't start something and then abandon it because it's too hard. Saturn won't allow you to do that because it's just going to come back again. This card is also the card of patience. So whatever plans you're trying to put into place or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve is going to be slow progress from a monetary point of view. And it will be one solid step at a time. And the reason why that's so important is because when you make it one solid step at a time, you build a very strong foundation, which can't be broken. And that is what Saturn is all about. Saturn is not wobbly fantasy type arrangements. It's got to be solid system, it's got to be methodical, it's got to be practical, and it must serve you and bring you the achievement that you require. But you can only do that from a place of strength. That's what Saturn's about. You may also be in contact with an authority figure of some kind. Perhaps somebody is going to assist you, or you're learning from somebody, or it could just be an authority figure that's coming in to bring about some kind of changes, which may not, they may be, as I said, you may have to face a few things and take responsibility as well. So Saturn embodies all that, but always Saturn is trying to bring about solid achievement in some way, and it takes a bit of time, and you've got to weed out unnecessary things in order to achieve that. Then in the third house, we have Yod Destiny. Your third house is to do with your self-expression. So this is how you communicate. And this can be verbal, written, body language, any form of communication. So how you express yourself. This is in the greater, your greater environment, but it can also be with your siblings, your aunts and uncles, your cousins, these people that are in your life. It's also about this third house also covers documents and contracts of all kinds because it's written. So those are important and they fall under the third house. So now at this time with your Destiny card coming in there, you may just be feeling, you're under pressure, but you may just be feeling a bit alone or out of step with others. And those could be those family members, or it could be with other people that you are associated with. You're just feeling like you've got no support, or that that you're not actually getting, you're not going to get the kind of advice and the support that you think you need. And I say you think you need because you don't actually need it. This is a time it's really a necessary time to find out your own truth. So you're going to be sort of pioneering in a way. You're going to be pioneering with how you express yourself and how you are actually going about your self-expression. You may be, as I said, you may be required to change. There are other circumstances in your chart which are going to force you into this now, where you're going to really have to reevaluate how you have been doing things up till now, and what you have been saying, written and verbal. the documents you've been involved with, the contracts and so on. It's your relationship with all of that. You're really going to have to assess what does and does not work and get rid of what does not work for you anymore. So what worked before may not work for you now going forward. So you must always follow your own inner GPS, because you do have all the answers internally. You just need to weed them out, pull them to the surface. And even though things may be tense and a bit stressful, you will find the answers, but you've got to go and do a little bit of soul searching and find out for yourself what is right for you. There will be some sacrifices involved and in order to get what you want. You're going to have to be adaptable as well. You're really going to have to do some serious self-assessment and actually go, as I said, get rid of what's not working, be adaptable. The third house also covers short trips, local trips, but because this card is sitting in there, I feel that you may not really be doing that at this time. But if you do go anywhere, it might be best to just go on your own and enjoy some quiet time. This is for that deep self-analysis and self-assessment. As I said, you may just be feeling alone in any case, and that is for a very good reason. And it's to help you navigate from an internal, your internal system, as opposed to what everybody else is saying or telling you at this time. Then in the fourth house, we have Capricorn IUs. The fourth house is to do with your home, your physical home. It's also the atmosphere in your home, the people in your home, but it can also be to do with your relationship with your identity, your ethnic identity or your ancestral identity, or just your foundation, what where you came from, your family tree, your family roots, all of that. It's your relationship with that, but as I said, also everything to do with your actual home. So now, Capricorn, I use this card is a very ambitious card. This is about sticking to your goals. So whatever your goals are in any one of those areas, you need to stick to them and do not give up. You're going to have to be resourceful, focused, practical, and systematic. So this could be if you're trying to make changes in your home, or you're trying to build something up in your home, or physically building your home. You're going to have to use all of those practical Capricorn abilities to actually achieve this. It's also about making good use of your connections, really good connections, who will hopefully offer support and show you the ropes. So you need to honor those people and harness all their knowledge and their wisdom as well. If you are building or creating something in your home, it's a gradual process, and you could also be resolving something. So a resolution to an issue could be coming in as well, and it will be just and fair, because Capricorn is associated with the legal system as well, and judges and the law. So whatever the issue is, you can expect a just and fair outcome. This could also symbolize a Capricorn in your home, or a Capricorn type person in your home, which brings in that resourcefulness, the practical side, the systematic, and they often are quite well connected, or they may be socially further up the ladder than you are. So it could be that, it could be a visitor or somebody else in your home that you're involved with at this time. But if you don't have that, then it really is about it could be a relationship with, as I said, with your family tree and your so this could be an authority figure in your family tree, or your ethnic identity. Perhaps you're building something up, perhaps you're exploring that. But it's going to take time, and you need to be practical about whatever you're doing in your fourth house. Then in the fifth house, we have Moon Soul. So your fifth house is the house of children, whether they're yours or others that you're associated with. It's also the house of creativity. So this is not necessarily artistic. This can be any kind of creative expression that you have. So it could be the way you speak, the way you dress, the way you do your home, your interiors, or the way you arrange your children's parties. There's lots of ways that you can use your creativity. Or it could just be some creative project which you're actually busy with. So it's about that. It's also, the fifth house also governs love affairs. And it also governs recreational activities of all kinds. So these are often fun, enjoyable activities, or they could be sports activities and clubs and so on. So where you are involved with a recreational activity of some kind. So now with this card coming in, this is about following your intuition and your gut feelings. So this could be in relationship to your children, or to a love affair, or to your creative project, or to your activities that you're involved in. Or it could be that your children, you're seeing this, that your children need to do this. It's about following intuition and gut feelings. There's going to be high emotion in some ways. There's going to be sensitivity. But with the sensitivity comes imagination. So that's very good for creative projects in all forms. It could also be that someone from your past is coming back as well, or memories are associated with that person coming back as well. You may feel that you or your children or your love interest, or both of you, may need to just retreat periodically as well. That comes up with this card. Because it's with that retreat and that time spent alone, then you can rebalance your emotions and you'll center yourself, and that helps to mitigate things like moodiness, sort of going through the harsh ups and downs. You want to try and regulate your cycles, because with this comes various types of cycles, fluctuations of all kinds. So you want to, be able to ride those cycles and fluctuations in the best way possible. This card can also bring in shyness, so possibly your children are experiencing this, or it's you in a relationship, a new love relationship, or your partner is like that, or it could be you entering a new activity, a recreational activity, and you're shy amongst the others that are in the same group as you. This card can also bring in crowds. And being involved in crowds of all kinds. So this could be going to recreational events where there are lots of people, or it could be sort of following popular like fads and fashions and things like that. That could be coming up. Also, the moon sometimes can hide things. So something could be hidden from you in some way in any one of those areas. The moon also brings in women's wisdom and issues. And also food and nurturing comes in with this card. So you could be taking a cooking class, or your children are involved in that, or you need to perhaps address food issues in your home to do with your children, or something associated with that. Or it could be a creative thing. Perhaps you are baking or cooking or creating food for certain things. So all of those come in with the moon card in your fifth house. Then in the sixth house, we have air element communicating. Sixth house is the house of your work, your workplace, your work colleagues, your work projects. And it's also your mastery of your craft, whatever it is that you do. So if you don't actually physically work, but you have a craft which you enjoy doing, whatever that may be, it's about that. It's mastery of that. It's also the house of health and diet. And it's the house of pets as well. So this card brings in, it's basically about communication, because the air element covers all forms of communication. So it can, as I said, cover all forms of communication. So perhaps you need to communicate a bit better in your workplace or with your work colleagues, or something to do with the kind of work project that you're working on. Or you could be receiving communication about that. You can also be hearing gossip or news. Please try not to get involved in that gossip side of it, but if it could be news related to work that you're busy with at this time, or something to do with other colleagues that you're involved with. This card is also about manifestation, which is really, really, really important. So it's in your house of work and health and diet. So what you really need to do is you need to focus on positive thoughts and positive words. What you say to yourself and what you say to others, what you think in your mind in relation to yourself. So it's your self-talk and what you think about others or about situations. Really, it takes discipline, but once you master that and you stay in a positive, high vibration, then whatever you are focusing on has a really, really strong chance of manifesting positively, because that's what you want. You don't want to be thinking or saying negative things and then that's what manifests for you. You don't want that now. So that's a really important part of this card. Other things, it's also about writing down what you want, or writing down things in order to have your say. This card also brings in technology of all kinds, and it's a sort of involvement with music or science or learning new things. That all comes in with this as well. Also, if you are following that, it's about all the clear senses, so that's clairvoyance, clairsentience, claircognizance, clairaudience. All of those come in that can very well manifest strongly with this card as well. So you may just be noticing stirrings of that. This card also brings in travel, air travel, and so that is possibly indicated to do with your work that you're involved with. So think about that as well. From a health and diet point of view, the air element is also associated with youth. So you may be feeling that you need to sort of regenerate or revive yourself in some way, or you just may be wanting to improve your diet so that you're sort of enhancing your youthfulness and so on. So that could be coming in for you. You also may be wanting to create more energy for yourself, because there's quite a bit going on. So you may just want to think about how you can do that with the foods that you eat, perhaps taking supplements and so on. There's various ways, or it could be exercise even. On the other side of it, you could be overthinking, or you could be stressing your nervous system out as well, because the air element is all about that as well. Then in your 7th house, we've got solar eclipse revolution. The 7th house is your house of relationships. This is your close personal one-on-one relationships. So whether that's a love relationship, or your business partnership, or a partnership of some kind, or a significant other in your life, which could be neither one of those. It could be just somebody that you're very close to at this time. So with this coming in, I feel there could be a couple of themes here. Because you've got Venus love in your 1st house, this could be and you've also got memories or somebody from the past coming back to you in your 5th house. It could be somebody that you know, or a new love coming in, and that is coming in to change things for you. You know, the apple cart is now being upset. You're now actually going to the next level with this person. So you're now rearranging everything. It could be that. There's various ways that this can be interpreted, but the 7th house, as I said, covers those close personal relationships. So now, with this card coming in, it can be interpreted a number of ways. So it could be a reinvention of a current relationship, or something that happened from the past. It could also be, and it could also bring in endings and beginnings, or a breakdown and a build up. So that's taking something existing and rearranging it and building it up to something new. But in all cases, what you will need to do is face any shadow self aspects that you have. You're going to have to face those, because this is going to highlight it for certain. So the reason you need to do that is so that you can take that relationship forward, whether it's a new one or existing one. You need to take it forward. It has to grow. It has to develop. It's very necessary. And you're either reinventing yourself, or you're reinventing this relationship. And if you're reinventing yourself, it's to take part in this new relationship which is coming in for you, which is going to be important. Okay, so this is about new directions, or a new path, possibly as well. But there are changes coming in. It's rapid. It's necessary. There could be an upheaval. Or you could find yourself suddenly in new terrain. So this is a new landscape that you perhaps haven't quite been in before, and now you're having to have a look at what needs to be done, or how you can move yourself forward. You may also need to fix or adjust something to create something better, and it will be better. It will be much better, but it's you diving in to actually take charge and fix or adjust something. So that could all be coming in for you in the 7th house. In the 8th house, we have fire element desire. The 8th house is, this is the house of finance, big finance. It's also the house of the deeper sexual side of a relationship, and it's also the deeper emotional and material resources in a partnership. So whether this is a love partnership or a business partnership, it's exploring those depths and merging of two into one. So it's about that, or just the merging of finance even, could just be that. The 8th house also deals with other people's money. So you may be handling other people's money in whatever way that is for you. But it covers big finance. So this is taxes, investments, insurances, accounting, banking, inheritances, legacies, anything like that. And it's also the house of endings and beginnings, so that can also come in as well. So that you're getting a repeat theme here, but it may not be for all of you, but it may be some of you are on this track where something is ending and something new is taking over, or it's something falls away to make space for something which is better that comes out of that, you know. So but in any case, quick changes are coming. So that's another theme. We're having changes here. So quick changes coming, or it could be your quick reaction to something. Maybe you're required to do that. So it's a quick reaction on your part to take advantage of something. You could also be required, as I said, to be assertive and to be honest about something, to get things clear. It's about clearing the landscape to start again. So really just blitzing completely to start again. So if this is perhaps a business partnership which is now falling away, to reform something else, or you're going to be doing something new altogether, see how that works for you. But it really is clearing the landscape to plant new things, plant new seeds. You may also be having an epiphany of some kind. So maybe a sudden realization about something, and then you know exactly what you have to do. It's a new direction of some kind. It's also the enthusiasm to tackle these deeper issues, where when you're joining in a partnership, it's enthusiasm about that. It's taking action. You may have a realization which requires a reaction and movement of some kind. You could also be, as I said, transforming something. Either way, whichever way, it's going to be a new perspective for you. You may have to protect your interests in some way if it's more business oriented, or perhaps you are dissolving something. And your ego or another person's ego may also be getting in the way here as well. Then in the 9th house, we have Mercury mind. So 9th house is covers a wide variety of aspects. It covers long distance travel. It covers adventure and exploration, everything to do with foreign cultures or foreign places or people. So that's you meeting the world or the world meeting you in some way. So it's also about further education and study. So this is university or adult education. It also covers philosophy, religion, belief systems of all kinds. Teaching comes into the 9th house, publishing, and promotional work of all kinds, public relations, and it also covers the law and prophecy even as well. But it's also about gaining wisdom. So now with this Mercury mind in this house, how I feel it's affecting you is that possibly long distance travel is coming in for you, because Mercury is about that as well. It's about travel. So, but it's going to be, this is not going to be your average trip. So it's long distance travel, but roads and maps are coming in as well. So this could be overlanding or going into an area that you haven't been in before, but roads and maps are strongly indicated. You could also have a change of direction, whether that's in your travel plans while you're traveling or to do with other aspects of the 9th house. So a change of direction could come in for you. But Mercury is always rapid. So there could be rapid developments to anything in the 9th house that you've got going as well. Perhaps you're publishing something, or you want to publish something, and it undergoes a rapid course of development. You're also going to have to use your mental strength and flexibility. Your words are going to be very, very important. So whether this is what you're writing or what you're saying, whether it's public relations, as I said, or publishing or teaching, or it's something that you're studying, or your religious side, or your philosophical side, but your words are going to be very, very important. So as I said before, think positive and speak positive, because it really is going to stand you in good stead at the moment. You're going to have to be flexible, as I said, about certain things as well. Again, gossip and scandal comes in, so you may hear gossip, don't get involved, or you may hear of a scandal of some sort that can come in. You may also receive a message, because Mercury is the messenger of the gods, yeah? So you may receive a message of some sort. Just avoid glibness as well, having been, sort of idle chit-chat about things, because that could come back to bite you as well. So avoid glibness, think things through, and you may also either be involved in an argument, or you could incite an argument of some kind as well. So as I said, your words are very important. This card also brings in technology, so you could be using technology in any one of those 9th house areas. So it could be a step up, or you're using more technology than what you have previously. It could also be learning. You're learning something new. This card also brings in electronics and vehicles, cars of all sorts. Comes up again. Siblings also come in with this card. So yeah, that's your 9th house. Then in the 10th house, we have Black Moon Lilith Mystery. So your 10th house is your house of career, it's your house of ambition, it's the house of fame, reputation, and your public status. So if your public status may be changing in some way, perhaps you're going from single to married, or the other way, or you're going from employed to self-employed. There's different ways that this can come in. But it's also the house of authority figures, so you may be dealing with an authority figure. In this case, it could be a female. So it's also your, what you look up to in your life, something that has been very important for you in your life. This is outside of yourself, so this is something you're reaching for. So now with this card in this house, you need to be a little bit careful, because this brings in the shadow side of yourself. All right, so careful what you say. This is coming up again. It's a really strong theme this time around. So careful what you say. Also, because you could really well undo a lot of hard work that you've already put in on something. It's also about avoiding harboring or festering negative emotions. So something could occur somewhere along the line, and you're feeling, feelings of revenge or anger or bitterness, or even rebellion. Bitchiness can also come in on this, because this is the darker feminine, right? So we've got masculine and feminine in all of us. So this brings in the darker feminine. So that may come in for you. So try and find a healthy outlet for that as well. Because you're a Sagittarian, sometimes you're inclined to say things which it may be the truth, but it can be unbelievably upsetting or offensive to other people as well. So just be very careful with that, because this could really come back to bite you in some way. So the other side of this card is, as I said, it does represent the dark side, the shadow feminine, but it's also about the strength of the feminine, which is standing in your power and truth from a place of wisdom and strength. So try to focus on that. Whether you're male or female doesn't matter, okay? You could also find that something in any one of the 10th house areas, something's not clear. So something's under the surface there, or you could be waiting for something to happen, okay? So all of these aspects come in on the 10th house. Then in the 11th house, we've got Grand Cross Provoker. So now the house rules friendships. It rules social groups and groups of all kinds. So whether these are associations, societies, clubs, just any kind of group activity you're involved in, but also, as I said, friendships. It also rules your ideals. It rules your hobbies and your interests, and visions of your future, what you kind of have in the back of your mind about where you want to go, what you want to do, and so on. Your dreams, So it's also the house of social reform and global consciousness, trends, and so on. But how I feel this is affecting you is that you're going to be facing some sort of challenging or painful situation, which once you're through that, will lead to growth and renewal of some kind, much better. So this could be perhaps a friend or friendships, something goes awry there, or you could just be really in a fix in some way. It could also be a social crisis, a social group that you're involved in. It could be something that you're facing now. You may feel misunderstood, but as I said, judging by what else is coming up in your card, it could have stemmed from something you said. So be very careful. Be very, very careful at this time. You may lose friendships through something. You may also be seen socially as in some kind of crisis. You could also be having diverging interests of some kind. So this between you and your friends, you could be your interests could be separating, and therefore you're starting to feel more alone, or you're now having to find other social groups or people that are like you. So it's diverging interests of all kinds. So you could be changing your social groups. You could also be, if none of that is applying, then you could also be juggling your abilities and getting nowhere. It's because you're juggling too many, or your talents. So if that applies for you, you could just be feeling under pressure and tense because you don't seem to be making progress. But also, this is about the only way to handle this is to focus on your priorities and be disciplined, as I said, about what you say and what you do. Also, your communication is really, really, really important. You could also be facing changes in direction of some kind in any one of those areas. Then in the 12th house, we have North Node, life's purpose. So the 12th house is the house of the unconscious, your unconscious drives and beliefs and hidden sort of motivations, if you want to call it that. And it's also the house of reflection and solitude, the house of mysticism, healing, meditation, spiritual life, your spiritual life. It can also cover addictions of all kinds, and it's very much about your karmic inheritance as well. So now, how I feel this is affecting you, this is a very, very, very positive card. So how I feel is that fate and destiny will lead you where you need to be in some way. So you're going to feel guided. You may also meet soul family, like-minded people who you have a very strong instant connection with. They're going to come into your life to assist you or possibly guide you in some way. So you may also be experiencing good returns from past lives. So this is positive karma coming back to you now to assist you. This is also about finding your purpose in some way, because this is what this is about. It's your life's purpose. You could also be talents of yours that have been hidden up until now could be starting to surface at this time. But whatever it is, there's potential there. There's potential for much better. There's potential for you to reach a much higher level than you have been at before. There's a new start involved there in some way as well. Possibly you leaving old stuff behind and starting something new, or just leaving old concepts and attitudes behind and starting something new, which is going to be much better for you. You could also be involved in a life-altering relationship, a love relationship of some kind. So this is going to really, really change things for you, and this has come up already before for some of you. So possibly that is, coming in for you, a really life-altering relationship. You could also be able to reach fulfillment at this time, but you're going to need to apply your wisdom and your understanding in order to harness that. But fulfillment and reaching your highest potential is really strongly indicated with this card. Okay, Sagittarius, I hope you enjoyed that. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your friends. And I hope you have a really great month, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Take care.